Good evening and welcome to the Dave Ray Show. I'm your host, Dave Ray, here with ex-sports director AJ Good. How are you, AJ?
Doing great. Happy to be in the area, Dave.
Yes, well, we're happy to have you on the show. So, WLX just officially announced today that you are accepting the position of ex-sports director. So, tell us, what is ex-sports?
Ex-sports is coverage of all local teams here in this area. So we got 6 high schools, 2 colleges that we're really going to be focusing on. And we're not just going to be covering the big sports. We're going to be covering everything: volleyball, softball, baseball, football, basketball, wrestling, track and field. If they're doing something competitive in it in this area, we're going to be there.
That's awesome. So, in the past, ex-sports has been radio only. So, are we moving into a different area?
Absolutely.
Video?
We're moving into video. We're moving into digital. Not only are we going to be doing live games that you're going to be able to hear on the radio, but also see on our channel as well. We're also going to be doing daily shows, daily highlights, daily features, and once again, it's going to be featuring all the area high schools and colleges.
That is awesome. So, what got you into the broadcasting field?
I am a diehard sports fan, and if you ask my family, it probably happened when I was really little. Grew up loving the Chicago Cubs, still love the Chicago Cubs. My office, my house is decorated and all of it. And when I realized I wasn't going to play first base for the Cubs, Anthony Rizzo, Mark Grace, and Derek Lee and those guys had that wrapped up before I even had the chance. This is what I wanted to get into. So I loved SportsCenter on ESPN growing up. When it was good, it's not so much anymore, but I loved it growing up. I always wanted to be Dan Patrick or Keith Olbermann, and my career actually started in high school. I was our first host of our daily show, which was, happened right at the morning announcements, and I turned it, me and my friends turned it into like a spectacle. It was like a comedy show / announcements, and what's supposed to be 5 minutes turned into like a 15 to 20-minute thing every day. But no teachers complained that I know of. But went to college and started my internship at WCHS TV in Charleston, West Virginia, close to where I grew up. And was there as an intern from 2004 to 2007. Started my career there full-time in 2007. Moved from there to be the sports director in 2014 at WVVA TV in Bluefield, West Virginia. Moved there to WGXA TV in Macon, Georgia, and just moved here from the ABC and Fox affiliate in State College, Pennsylvania. So pretty well traveled. I've seen a lot of things, and looking forward to seeing some more in the area.
So, that makes me have the question, what brought you to Lawrenceburg?
My wife is from Lawrenceburg, and her family is from here as well, the Betts family. And I know everyone knows who they are, especially knows their dad, Alan, who's a great man, and she's a great woman. And we actually met on eHarmony. I was on eHarmony, no joke, for one day. And she was the first person to message me, so that was definitely a godsend.
Yeah.
So, she traveled with me to Pennsylvania, and good area. We liked it, but this is where our heart is. So we moved back here, and this opportunity, Ben is doing a great thing with Tennessee Valley Weather. He wanted to do the same thing for sports, and the timing just couldn't have worked out any more perfect.
Wow. Well, I've only been to Pennsylvania once in my life, and the humidity is much better up there than it is down here.
Yes, I moved down here to mid-90s temperatures, and it's low 80s up there with very low humidity. But loving it here, though. It doesn't snow as much here as it does in Pennsylvania.
All of Lawrence County gets really happy when the snow comes. So
yeah, my wife is looking forward to not having to shovel the driveway.
I couldn't even imagine. Wow. So, what are your short-term plans for the Ex-Sports Network? What in the short term, maybe this first year, what are your plans?
Our plans are to build the base, to give people to have good expectations for what we're going to do. And what we're going to, our ultimate goal, obviously, is to be the ESPN of the area. And how we do it is we take, based on my background, a TV news approach to it. So we go out to these schools every day. We have a presence. People know who we are. They expect us to be there for these big games. So that's how we build it, is the small steps, just familiarity and consistency on our part, and that way we can really grow this into something big.
So how can we find you online?
First, start off on Facebook, X Sports Network. You can easily find us there on Facebook and on YouTube and Twitter as well. So that's where you're going to find our games. That's where you're going to find our content, and start it there, and then do like Ben did with the weather, and hopefully have its own channel pretty soon.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So, okay, we're talking about short-term plans, long-term plans, maybe in 5 years. Where are you thinking in 5 years, maybe?
5 years, I would love for us to be at carry every game that we can live for every one of our 6 area high schools. That would be the ultimate plan. Still got a lot of work and a lot of money we got to raise to make that happen. But
Yes.
the businesses in this town and in this area have been very gracious, and hoping to bring some more on to help us accomplish that goal. But to get more people on board, more people that want to work and go to these games, broadcast these games, and turn them from just single camera shows to multi-camera shows, and get all these different angles. And like we said, we want to be the ESPN of the area, but we also got to build it, got to start off slow, and we got to get hopefully build up the workforce to make this happen.
Wow. So what schools are we looking at? You said 6 area high schools.
Yeah.
So what schools, if you can list them? I know that's there's a lot of schools around the area.
So in Lawrence County, you're looking at Lawrence County, you're looking at Loretto, Summertown. In Murray County, because I mispronounced it the other day, you're looking at Mount Pleasant, then in Giles County, Richland, and Giles County. So those are our 6 area high schools. Then UT Southern, college-wise, and North Alabama.
Wow.
So those are the 8 areas we're going to focus on for right now. Obviously, we got plans to expand our coverage area, not too far. We're not going to go ridiculously far out there, but maybe expand it a little bit here in the coming years.
Well, that is awesome. That is awesome. So, are you offering sponsorships?
We are definitely offering sponsorships. Anyone that wants to come aboard, and just like Ben says a lot, it takes manpower and also takes money to make these things happen. So the more money that we get coming in, the better coverage that we can display for the people in this area. And I'm one guy. I'm going to try to do the best that I can to get around, but the more money that comes in, and maybe the more people we can bring on and make this happen.
Sponsorships are very important to make what we do work, right? So, all right, we'll be right back after this commercial break. And we're back with AJ Good, X Sports Director. So first question, what would you tell a student interested in going into the broadcasting and news field?
Have a lot of patience, expect a low pay. I know you hear that everywhere you go, especially in our business, but you're going to have to start off small. Not everyone gets a job in Nashville or Huntsville right off the get-go. We work off the TV news business works off in market sizes. So this area is kind of in between Huntsville and Nashville, which is a pretty big market size, and it's based off people and TV households. So most of them are going to start off in a small market for little pay. So it's going to teach you a lot about how to be diligent with your money and how to be diligent with your work, and it should motivate you to move up, and up. But the best thing you got to focus on is to get better every day. Your goal, no offense to people that work there or live there, but your goal isn't to be in Rapid City, North Dakota. Your goal is to be in Nashville or in Huntsville or Miami, New York, Chicago, go on down the list. So it's being patient, continue to learn. When someone who's been in the business for a long time tells you something, listen to them.
Mhm.
You don't know everything. You're going to get screamed at. You're going to get yelled at.
Mhm.
You're going to have people hate what you do. You're going to have people that love what you do.
Mm.
So you take it all with a grain of salt. Be humble. Be willing to come in and work with a very hardworking, great attitude every day, and just have a lot of patience, because you don't just shoot to the top right off the get-go. They don't give those jobs away. You got to earn them.
That was a very good answer.
Yeah.
And just from what little tiny bit I've done in broadcasting, it's been a lot of fun.
Yeah.
It's a fun
Yeah.
job to be able to, work with great people, meet new people every day. It's a lot of fun.
That's the best part, is the people.
Mhm.
I mean, I've made so many great friends just in the newsrooms, or
Yes.
interacting with my quote unquote competition,
Mhm.
the other stations in the market, and build lifelong friendships and
Mhm.
people that I love and adore to this day. And that's the best part of it. It's the people. Yeah, sometimes you got to deal with that other stuff with the corporate side of things, which, personally, I think is kind of ruining the media. But when it comes to actual people who are out there grinding it with you every day, those are the best people. I love meeting the coaches. I love meeting fans. I love meeting the players. I mean, being in that stadium when it's filled with 65,000 people, those are the best moments. It makes all the other stuff you got to deal with worth it.
Yes, right. So, what do you enjoy most about broadcasting? We've talked about some aspects, people and things, but what's your favorite thing about it overall?
I love being at games and being around people. I think that's what it's all about. That's why we have sports coverage. It's the games and the people that are involved. And I love being there, whether it's, I've been to a Super Bowl and I've been to small time high school track meet, but you meet all kinds of people, you learn their backstories, and not only can that turn into a good feature, a good story down the line, but you're building a relationship, and those are the people that remember you at the end of the day. I can't tell you how many times when I go home and every time I'll see somebody, hey man, miss you on Channel 8. And it's because you built those relationships and people come to trust you at the end of the day. And that for me is the best part about it. I can deal with a general manager that's not happy with something at the end of the day, because when you see that smiling face, even the criticism, you got to take it constructively, but when you see that smiling face and you return home just to visit your parents and you see people that are happy that you're there, it makes it worth it at the end of the day.
Yes, I completely agree. So you mentioned many TV stations earlier. So what positions did you hold in these stations? Was it just sports? Was it news? Was it kind of a mix? What was it?
My first job in Charleston, West Virginia, it was for the first year or so as half news, half sports. I was the number 3 in the sports department because I interned there. They literally created a position for me.
Wow.
And we have a big market that's in West Virginia, Ohio, Kentucky. Marshall University is a big deal. West Virginia University is a huge deal. And we also had Ohio University and several other small colleges. So we were very busy, and you can't just have 2 people cover it. So they had me there, and eventually I stayed full time in the sports, and had some life altering things happen, and knew it was time for me to move on. So when I moved to VBA in Bluefield, West Virginia, that was my first sports director job. Then I was recruited to Macon, Georgia, by somebody there, and unfortunately was only there for a year and 2 months because some things that were way out of my control, and they eliminated sports and some other positions, and had to move with my now wife to Jefferson City, Tennessee, and worked at a resort in Sevierville, Tennessee, in the Pigeon Forge area. So I could write a book about everything that I experienced there. Mostly good things and some funny things, but and then I got this job at the ABC and Fox in State College, Pennsylvania, where I was the news and sports anchor. Wow. And so I had a co-anchor in Johnstown, and I did all the sports. I was in the shadow at Penn State, could see the football stadium from my house.
Wow.
It holds 107,000 people, so you should be able to see that thing from space. So those are the kind of positions that I held. But I'm my own shooter, my own editor, my own photographer.
Yes.
I'm my own writer. I've done it all, and actually I prefer to do it all because I can't blame anyone else.
Exactly.
I'd rather take all the blame for everything.
And it's actually, I've learned, just what little that I do right. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
It is it's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
So, you are the ex-sports director.
Yeah.
How do you feel that sports, what role do you believe that they play in general?
It's in an area like this, and in every area that I've been and that I've worked in, sports is king. Most general managers and news directors don't want to tell you that, but it's the absolute truth. I love being in towns like this where the place shuts down on Friday night. They're at the gym, they're at the stadium, they're at the ballpark. Those are my favorite places to be. When you go to Knoxville, it doesn't take much for them to fill up 100,000 people in the stadium. Or me as a diehard Cubs fan, Wrigley Field's always packed. Why? Because people have a passion. People want to be there. They love that. And there's a passion for sports everywhere. In certain areas, it's for different sports. Certain areas, it's for all sports. But everyone's got a passion for it. And those are the places I want to be. I can feel it while I've been here. Everyone's having the little people who know that I'm here, that small number, they're all, what's going on with the Wildcats? How the Bobcats look, and what about the Mustangs? That's awesome. I want to talk that all day long with people.
Yes. Well, last question. So you are in this position, and we want to get you out into the community and get you involved.
Yeah.
So what do you want to tell the community coming into this position? What would you like to tell them right now?
I love small town sports, and it's something I have a passion for. This is actually something I've wanted to do for a long time. Just focus on an X amount, no pun intended, X amount of teams, and just really just dive in deep and focus on them instead of. I've been in markets I've had as many as 65 high schools, which is with 2 or 3 people is almost impossible to cover it all.
Cannot imagine.
So, in an area like this, I can really hone in on it. And I'm going to be there. I'm going to be at all these games. I'm going to do features on your kids, on your coaches. And I want to let the people know that it's about them. This isn't about me. I know I'm the face of it, but my passion is for the people. You're not going to see me on camera that much because I believe that it's about the kids. It's about the communities. And they pour into these kids, and it's important to them. So whatever's important to them, it's important to me. That's why I want to pronounce Murray County correctly and not Maury County, no matter how it's spelled.
Oh my.
So, I want to make sure I get everything right. And that's important to me. And my passion is for the kids, coaches in these communities. And I hope people will see that here in the coming days.
Oh, that's awesome. And we are so happy to have you in Lawrence County.
Yeah.
We look forward to see what you're going to do. I know you're going to do an excellent job.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for coming on the show.
Yeah.
We'll hope to have you back again soon, maybe in a couple of months, just to let us know how things are going.
Absolutely. Love to stop by. I mean,
So,
you're in my office.
Yes.
So.
Yeah. Well, we are in each other's office right now. It's pretty funny.
Yeah.
So, but give us those handles again, those Facebook handles, Twitter handles.
It's the X Sports Network. I believe it's the X Sports Network on Twitter. We just created it today. So
gotcha. Okay, so brand new.
and X Sports Network on. You'll know all the logos are going to be the same, so you'll know them once they pop up. So follow us there, and it's official today.
Yeah.
Our first shows, we're going to do nightly shows starting on Monday. We got special shows where on Thursday night for football and basketball, where we're looking to the weekend ahead for our high schools and our colleges. Friday night, it's all highlights of all the local sports.
Wow.
And Saturday is a college themed show. And Sunday, I got to take a break because I got to see my wife every now and again. So
Sunday is the day of rest.
And that's the way God intended.
That's right.
I got to take a break at some point.
That's right. Well, what time on Monday night do you start?
Not sure yet.
Not sure. Okay.
It depends on when these games finish up.
Sure.
So
sure.
I'll try to get it on as quickly as I can.
Okay. So we'll be looking out for that on Facebook. So, but again, thank you so much for joining us on the show. Tune in next week, next Friday on Facebook, YouTube, Apple Podcast, and Spotify.